to Good Game Pocket Edition, our weekly roundup of gaming. I'm Hex.
And I'm Bajo. This week we enjoy a unique twist on the traditional platformer with Child of Light.
And so Aurora wandered, the twilight forest far from home. Starlight only to guide her, except for a firefly alone.
But before all that, we suit up for battle in War of the Vikings. War of the Vikings is an online multiplayer hack and slash brought to us by Swedish developer Fatshark.
Yes, and it's the second in the War of the series, the first being War of the Roses.
Oh, man, it comes around the side with the tomahawk.
Roses had a lot of charm, and with Vikings the combat is quite similar in many ways, but it also has a different flavour to it. It's slick, polished, fast-paced, and with thoughtful changes to suit the Vikings theme and historical combat style.
The bow and arrow play is really cool though. Picking a target, correcting for arrow drop, the leading, the shaking of the arm, waiting for the right moment to release, and the whistle of the arrow. It's brilliant, and even better than it was in Roses.
Yeah, and I think the close quarters combat is better too. Swing attacks are angled by how you move your mouse left, right, or upwards. For newcomers, this takes a while to master, so you could be forgiven for thinking it's unresponsive as you thrash your mouse about. I do miss those slow-paced, massive battles of the last game, but I can see why they've gone for smaller maps here.
Yeah, there are some fantastic bottlenecks. And also some thoughtful level design ideas, such as this map, which has a small trough to promote interesting tactical problems and advantages. You are very fragile in a big fight, but it's much easier to revive and heal teammates.
Thank you. I think this game mostly shines in pitched battle and arena modes, where you only have one life per round, like Counter-Strike.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you get some really solid duels in arena, and it encourages better teamwork.
Goose, run away. I got him.
Uh-oh, took an act to the...
I'm down. Good luck.
Okay, yeah, dude.
It's a different kind of online game, isn't it? But I also think it's really cleverly balanced. For me, this is on par with War of the Roses, so I'm giving it 8.
I'm giving it 8 as well.
Over on Spawn Point, our show for younger gamers on ABC3, we looked at Strike Suit Zero and Lego The Hobbit.
Strike Suit Zero originally came out early last year for PCs, but has now been remastered and improved in this director's cut for next-gen consoles and PC. It's an arcade-influenced space combat game which takes heavy inspiration from classic anime shows such as Gundam and Macross.
Outside of a pretty cool intro cutscene, the story is told through a bit of radio chatter, events in-game, and also some text in between the missions. I just think it needed a few more cutscenes to help flesh out the story a bit.
One thing that really bothered me were the controls. Normally I like to use non-inverted controls for console games, except when it comes to flight games, I really kind of understand the inverted process with that. It did my head in. And because there's no separate option for flight or strike mode, no matter which one I chose, one of them felt wrong.
Target destroyed.
Well, I think this is good, solid arcade fun, so I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Well, the control system held things back a little bit for me, so I'm giving it 7 out of 10.
Okay guys, Gandalf and the gang need our help and those Lego bricks aren't gonna build themselves. This is Lego The Hobbit.
I loved seeing so many of my favourite moments from the books and films recreated here, like the 3 trolls.
Can we cook him?
And the majestic elven city of Rivendell.
Gandalf.
Lord Elrond.
Strange for orcs to come so close to our borders. Something or someone has drawn them near.
Oh, and that great bit where Bilbo uses his magic ring to turn invisible and fight giant spiders, so cool.
Oh.
The basic LEGO structure remains the same in this game. Bilbo and the group will break apart many blocks to build them into useful new tools. But this time around, they've added quite a few dwarf-specific features.
Yes, those dwarfs do work together pretty well. You can hop them up onto each other's shoulders to make dwarf ladders, and you'll need to grab a friend pretty regularly for these tag team attacks.
Generally, I had fun with all of the block building, but there were some moments that felt particularly forced, such as when Bilbo meets Gollum.
Voiceless. It cries. Wingless.
That's such an important moment in the story, where there's all these riddles that need to be answered, but instead of just saying the answers, Bilbo has to run around building them out of blocks.
It's wind. Of course it is.
That was just silly.
I didn't mind that, but I know what you mean. The game does often feel like it's relying on overcomplicated solutions just to keep you busy.
One of the criticisms we always have with the LEGO games though is that they tend to feel a bit samey, and this one did for me too. I still had a lot of fun, so I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Well, I think I had a bit more fun going there and back again with the Hobbit, so I'm giving it 8.5. Okay, question time, and let's go with this one from Boots Are Brave, #CatsLife in Central Coast, New South Wales. Hey people, I've heard some rumours about a new Assassin's Creed game that's coming out this year. Is it true, and is it actually set in France? During the French Revolution? When do you think it is coming out, and on what platforms? Ha-ha!
Well, Bootsa, those rumours are absolutely true. It's called Assassin's Creed Unity, and it will indeed be set during the French Revolution.
There's even a video of it which supposedly is showing all in-engine graphics. And as you can see, it looks stunning. I just hope it actually looks that good once we get our hands on it.
Indeed. Rumour has it, it's also going to sport a 4-player co-op campaign, which might be where the Unity tagline comes from. And there's no official release date yet, but those rumours peg November 5th as the date.
Yeah, going off the release date of previous Assassin's Creed games, I'd say that sounds about right. Either they come out around the end of October or sort of mid-November-ish.
Yes. Also, it seems Unity is going to be only on next-gen platforms, so PS4, Xbox One, and more than likely PC too.
But also, rumour has it that they're actually making 2 games this year. Unity will be for next gen, but there'll also be a current gen one which we've heard is called Comet, and that'll apparently have a maritime focus, much like Black Flag did.
No doubt we'll find out how true those rumours are in a few short weeks at E3. But now I think it's time for your review. And this week we thought we'd see what everyone thought of Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes.
Good choice.
Kept you waiting, huh?
And not surprisingly, a lot of criticism was focused on the length, like this one from Draft Hug, who wrote, "Short as hell, half a star."
Dingo Boy clearly disagreed with that, however, writing, "Took me ages to beat, 10 stars.
It seems like some were a little shocked with its length, like Finn Reardon here, who said, "Seriously, 1.5 stars."
Curtis, on the other hand, clearly had more fun with it and said, "This is really good, 5.5 stars.
That's not really what I'd call a good score though, is it?
Well, it's above average, really, technically.
Well, I think this game was clearly a small appetizer for Metal Gear fans like Cy Ryder, who said, "It's a great little teaser to what shall be a great game. Yes, it's small, but it's only a prelude and a way to show off the new Fox engine, and what an engine." As for the price, I think it's reasonable for the fact it's a next-gen game. Hours of play for the die-hard MGS fan. 8.5 from me.
Yes. You earned it.
Well, fair enough. One for the fans indeed. But on that note, it's time to check out our big review from this week, Child of Light.
Brought to us by Ubisoft Montreal, Child of Light is a curious mix of platforming and turn-based RPG action. It follows the fairy tale-like story of Aurora, the daughter of an Austrian duke who falls into a deep, dark sleep, only to awaken trapped in the mythical world of Lumeria.
In order to return home and be reunited with her father, Aurora must retrieve the sun, the moon, and the stars, which have been stolen from Lumeria by an evil queen.
Then Umbra's dark creatures conquered the land. Our lives soon snuffed out by a wave of her hand.
Oh, Bajo, this game. Dreamy washes of watercolour bleeding from one scene into the next. It's so beautiful.
It's really unique, isn't it? Aurora navigates her surroundings with basic platforming and a little bit of puzzle solving until she gets her wings.
It's not long before Aurora encounters some pretty nasty creatures though, and this is where you get stuck into some serious turn-based battles. As Aurora levels up, you can apply skill points into a sprawling tree that grant her with a variety of skills in defense, magical attacks, health, and so on. You can choose to focus on one particular area of the tree, but I decided to make her a bit of an all-rounder.
You also find crystal fragments throughout the realm that can be applied to Aurora's weapons and gear. And each of these have different effects depending on where they are placed. Combinations of crystals can also be crafted to create new ones.
Normally I'm not a huge fan of this kind of turn-based combat. I just find the fights repetitive and drawn out and a little bit boring. But it's so clever the way they've crafted the encounters in this game. Aurora also picks up friends and travelers along the way who have additional quests and requests for her to complete, and in return agree to fight in her party.
One can be a good healer with the ability to revive allies, and another with a strong magic damage focus, for example.
And you can apply crystals to each party member too, which adds even more complexity.
Every character in your party and every enemy moves at a different speed. There's a bar to indicate all of the characters moving through the turn, with a red combat bar at the end.
The soundtrack is stunning too. Strings and piano sounds to complement Aurora as she tumbles through the air. I adored this. I'm giving it 9 out of 10.
I agree, it's a thoughtfully made game that draws all of its influences together to create something truly unique, but also challenging. I'm giving it 8.5 out of 10 rubber chickens. Hope you enjoyed our little roundup of our week that was. Don't forget you can tune into regular episodes of Good Game every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. on ABC2.
Next week, we'll learn to fear the dark in daylight. Hello? Anybody there?
So I heard with Daylight, you don't get any weapons to defend yourself with at all.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all you get is a mobile phone to just illuminate your path with. Spooky. Until next time, Hex out.
Bajo out.